Hi guys, welcome back to another video. This is Maz Naturals, and today's video I'm going to talk about lint problems, picking lint out of your locks. Is it a good idea? Is it not a good idea? Well, to me personally, I don't think it's a good idea. I was following a discussion which was on Instagram by Chris McDread, and he was talking about how to do ACV on locks. Now, I've currently in the past done lots of ACV rinses, and what he was saying is, instead of doing it the way where you pour the baking soda into the water, lemon juice, and then you dunk your head into the solution to soak, he said that's not the way, because by the time you've done that, the reaction has already come and gone. So following on, was it like a couple of days later, he posted another video about some person had build up in their locks for 3 years. Like the lint was like thick lint built up in this person's dreads. I don't know how or why. Maybe they had a breakdown, or maybe going through a lot of things. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but the lint was really heavy. And what the lady did, she poured the baking soda on the locks and then poured the apple cider vinegar onto the baking soda, which resulted in a reaction where it fizzed on the actual dreads instead of in the water, which in turn supposedly lifts out the lint. Then another lady commented saying that that's not the right way, how you should do it, and all sorts of conversations was happening. But I was just thinking about what the lady said, and she was saying like you should soak your hair in hot water and use like shampoo that can remove lint, because it comes to the surface. And she's right, because when I did my soak this is years before I posted my recent video on ACV, I would do the ACV soak, and then afterwards all the lint would come to the surface, so the locks looked dull, so you could see the lint come to the surface, and then I'd have to use shampoo to wash it out. But in my case, I used fairy liquid, and that was the only thing what kind of loosened the grease within the locks. So let's get a conversation going in the comments. Like, has anybody used the traditional ACV where you put the solution in the water, the baking soda, the lemon juice, and the apple cider vinegar, and soaked your locks in the water? Or did you do it the other way, the new way, which is shake the contents onto the locks and then did that reaction? I actually had a client, and I did that way, where you put the baking soda on the locks and then put the apple cider vinegar, and you can see the eruption happening straight away, and it would lift a little bit, but it did bring it to the surface. And then what you have to do is give it a good shampoo and a good soak in the hot water to release the lint. But my thing is, besides all of that to get rid of lint, is what are you using in your locks? If you need to do the ACV, then you need to rethink about what you're actually using in your locks. As for me, in my past, in the beginning of my lock journey, when I didn't really have that much knowledge of lock care, I would use a lot of gels and waxes in my locks, which caused a lot of build-up. Hence why I started to colour my locks, because what happens is you get the build-up gets hard to come out of the locks. Then what do? You turn to colouring your locks to cover up the problem. But my thing is prevention is better than cure, because once you start doing the colouring, which I did, I'd coloured my hair. If you've been following me for a while, you would know about my colour story. And I used to use the black dye to cover up the buildup, which it did cover up the buildup. It did hide it, but you forget that once you wash the colour out, then you're going to see the buildup anyway. You know, the buildup will show through once that colour's washed out. So once I realised that, then I started, that's when I started the bleaching. Because I thought, well, okay, it's buildup, it's lint or whatever, and it's kind of like a greyish colour. If I dye my hair, if I bleach it, then it will cover it up even more. But then what that did, it ended up damaging my locks further. My locks started to break, and hence the cutting story where I had to cut a lot of the colour out of my locks because it caused so much, the bleaching had caused too much damage. It weakened the base of my locks, so I had to cut it all off. So that didn't work. So what I would advise, if you are new to locks, if you've got starter locks, or you are just experience a lot of build-up, is to look at what you are actually using. Now, if you're using products with beeswax or gels which are very gunky and heavy and thick, then obviously after a time you're going to get build-up. And if you try and pick out that build-up, which I did the other day with this one, I don't know if you can see, if you've got surface lint like this, you can actually pick that out. I don't know if you can see that. This you can pick out. But if you've got lint which is embedded deeply into the locks, you can't pick that out. You know, you have to try and wash it out. If you've got starter locks, you might be able to get away with that, with unraveling it and scrubbing it out. But if your locks are mature, then unfortunately it's hard to get out unless you soak it and shampoo it. But my thing is, what I've realized, if I leave too long a time to shampoo my locks, then it's harder to get lint out. So the best thing is, with me, I will wash every 2 weeks, every week or every 2 weeks at a push. That's it. And I find that's the best thing for me to not experience build-up. And I inspect my locks to make sure. You see here, you can see now, this is in real time. You can't really stop lint because this is probably from a jumper. Actually, it is from a jumper. So what I can do is pick it out. See? That's simple. I think I can see a little bit more here. See that there? I can pick that off. That's just fluff. But lint is different because it's embedded into the lock. If you've got fluff, so that's why also it's very, very important for you to inspect your locks and make sure there's no embedded lint. And if there is, to deal with it before it gets worse. So that was just a quick video, guys, for you to really think about your lock journey. Really think about the products that you're using. Keep the products simple. As now, I just wash, condition, and oil. That's it. And that's it. And you guys know the spray moisturizers that I use for my locks, and it's really, really beneficial. The oil I use is amazing, and I will share that with you in another video. And that is it. Less is more. And I keep saying this over and over again. Less is more. You don't need to be using thousands of products and stuff what can cause so much buildup. Just keep it simple and your locks will thrive. If you put too much products in your locks, it's just going to weigh it down, and which in turn can cause breakage in years and years to come. Because the thing is, what you don't probably might not realize is that things happen over a period of time. It's just like me when I coloured my locks, when I had the lint initially first in my locks, and I tried to mask that by covering it with dye. It just defeats the object, because even people say, if you even some of the dyes is no lie, there is some form of peroxide within those dyes, although maybe a tiny bit. But over a period of time, if you keep dyeing your hair, eventually it can damage it. I'm not saying it will for you personally, because I have to be careful what I say on these videos, because people just take it too personal. I'm just sharing my experience and other people's experiences as well, who I know, who's constantly been dyeing their hair. It eventually thinned out. So I just want you guys to be careful. I want you guys to have a good lock journey, and for your locks to remain strong and intact, and to limit build-up. So that's what I wanted to share. I'm sure there's a lot more, and I will share a lot more when I do my live video. You can ask me all the questions you want. But if you have any particular questions that you want answered, do leave them in the comments box below. And if you've got any ideas of videos that you'd like me to do, then do leave them in the comments box below. Anything you want me to discuss on the video, leave it in the comments box below. And don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to press the notification bell so that you'll be alerted of my up and coming videos. So, as always, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and stay uniquely you. And I'll see you all in my next video. Thank you for watching.